The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets are vowing to fix all their issues ahead of the Week 2 matchup on Sunday against the Titans. Here's the question. Will they? We'll talk about that and much more. Jeff Parles joins us in his weekly spot, so let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
Great game. I know Aaron Rodgers did well tonight. Look, it's only one game. Everybody's complaining that the season's over. Week 2, they're playing Tennessee. We're going to win. I guarantee that they're going to win 37-29.
We bleed Jet green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Happy Wednesday. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you spending some time with us here on the channel. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? We talk Jets each and every day. Help me get to 40,000 subscribers. And, of course, like this video before we get started. Before we bring on today's featured guest, reminder, we're presented by Huga House. Aaron Rodgers rocked a custom year 20 Huga House hat. I'm here to tell you, you can get the same one. Flash sale right now. They will be sold out by the end of the day. Go quickly. If you want the hat that Rodgers wore, any of the two collectible year 20 Rodger hats from Huga House, go to the website, use the code Asman at checkout, and you'll save 15%. Once again, year 20 Aaron Rodgers themed hat from Huga House is available, but it will sell out fast. Bunch of you have already ordered. Promo code Asman at checkout if you want the same hat or the same hat in green. I ordered the green one for myself earlier today. Joining us right now in his weekly spot live from Las Vegas is our dear friend, Jeff Parles. Hello, Jeff.
Afternoon, Jake. Afternoon, Asmaniacs. How's it going on a Wednesday, Jake?
Well, I think I'm doing better than the Jet defense was doing Monday night. That is for sure.
Well, like I told you before the show, not a big standard of that. But yeah, no, look, at week 2, I know we got a lot to talk about, my friend.
We certainly do. I want to start with this, though, right? So I pulled some sound from the Jet locker room earlier today. They're vowing to fix their mistakes. We'll hear from the head coach. We'll hear from Jermaine Johnson. And then I want your thoughts on this. First things first, here's Jermaine Johnson talking about the defense's performance on Monday night.
Right. I mean, that's just not our standard. That's not the norm of us. And nevertheless, we put that on tape, right? So we got to go out the next week and, put that to bed pretty quick, which I have full confidence that we'll do.
Not our standard. Here's Robert Saleh talking about bouncing back on Sunday.
They'll bounce back. Thought meetings were really good this morning. Walkthrough was the initial walkthrough was good. We'll have another one today. Look, it's not the first time that we've gotten punched in the mouth here on defense, and I feel like we've always responded. So they'll respond.
Jeff, they're saying the right things. Are you buying the Jets defense bouncing back on Sunday?
I mean, if they don't, then we have a lot of reevaluating of what this team's prospects are, Jake, because what we saw on Monday night after the first 2 drives, I mean, the first drive, they ran the Niners off the field in 3 plays, and then they buckled up after Hall's fumble and looked like, all right, the same old thing. Defense is going to be real good. And then, in all honesty, Jake, the bigger concern more than anything out of this game, and look, I still believe the defense will be fine. There's too many good players on that defense. I know some will probably laugh at this, but the fact that none of the guys played in the preseason, I think actually hurt them. And I know they only played 2 series last year against the Giants, but at least it was an actual game and not your own practices. and you happen to draw the toughest team on the schedule in week 1 this go around. Like that's, it actually kind of feels like, and Jake, I know that the fans can get irrational. It actually has felt like a lot of people have stayed a little more sane than usual after the way things look.
You didn't hear Neil's call on my first show today, Jeff. That's all I'm going to say
no,
about that.
That's why I said mostly. That's why I said mostly. But look, I think the biggest thing to come out of Monday night, yeah, the defense will get better. If it doesn't, then we'll talk next Wednesday before the Patriot game. But the Jets' biggest problem going into the season showed up right away. Their coaching staff is overmatched. And look, it's the first game back for Rodgers, and he hadn't thrown a touchdown in almost 700 days. Let's be honest with ourselves. The play calling was very vanilla, and almost all of the good plays by the Jets came out of Rodgers audibling at the line and reacting to what the defense was. There was no creativity whatsoever from Nathaniel Hackett again, which, let's be honest with ourselves, we kind of know that's the case, unfortunately. And against the high-end teams in this league, that's not good enough. And that showed up in week 1. And Kyle Shanahan is him and Sean McVay and Andy Reid are the 3 best offensive minds in football. Thankfully for the Jets don't see Randy Reid. They see McVay later this year, but the Rams might not have any offensive linemen left by the time that the Jets play them in December. But this is a problem. This coaching staff that has, again, not won anything. Yes, they improved the defense, but when you have so many guys that are first-round talent, and Mosley's been an all-pro for the majority of his career, yes, they developed Quincy Williams. Yes, they developed other pieces. Tony Adams is a nice piece that they developed in-house. But this coaching staff is not good enough. That's the biggest concern I come out of Monday night. The defense will be fine. Aaron Rodgers looked fine. Don't listen to the BS from the talking heads comparing his numbers to Zach Wilson in week 1 last year. Anyone who watched the 2 games know that the quarterback play was much better this year in the limited action because they didn't have the damn ball at all.
That was the biggest problem.
So look, I again, I don't want to panic. They just lost. They got beat up by, let's face it, the second best team in the NFL. And if they don't get a lot better, if they make the playoffs, they will lose to teams that are better than them. They won't be able to play up if they don't get they won't even be in the playoffs if they don't get their issues figured out. But again, it's week 1. You are very fortunate that you play a team that has a quarterback that is mistake prone. I mean, Brian Callahan on Monday said that if the Titans just punted on 1st and 10 in the second half, the whole second half, they would have won the game. He's probably right. Not probably, he was right. And the Jets faced the right quarterback this week in Will Levis and the right team with, again, not a ton of offensive firepower, unlike the Niners. And I know people will point to, McCaffrey didn't play. It would have been the exact same if McCaffrey was in. I don't think it would have been much different. So it's not like, again, Shanahan does an amazing job developing undrafted guys. Jordan Mason, if you've watched him enough at the NFL level, you knew that he at least was capable. I'm not overly worried. I'm more worried that my thought on the coaching staff might be the holdup for this team and why they don't reach expectations that a lot of us think should be in play for the roster they have.
Yeah, down the line, it could be a problem, but from a sheer talent standpoint, I mean, the Jets have a far superior team than the Titans do. So, they got to handle their business. And yeah, it's difficult to play 3 games in 11 days, but the expectation should be this team's 2-1, at this time, next Thursday night, wrapping up their second win in 4 days. That's got to be the goal from this point forward.
Look, you're in a scenario now. Just look at the next 4 games before the Monday night game in Buffalo, against Buffalo, I should say, at MetLife. You're a 3.5-point road favorite against Tennessee. Even if New England wins against Seattle for their second straight upset, the Jets are still going to be pushing a touchdown in that game against the Patriots. They're going to be favored by more than a touchdown against Denver. Again, I didn't quite understand why all the talking heads started to love Denver by the end of the preseason. That roster stinks, and Bo Nix isn't an NFL quarterback. And then you play Darnold in Minnesota, which of the 4 games is the toughest of the 4 games, I think, by a reasonable margin, because they have legitimate offensive skill position players that you have to worry about. and arguably the best receiver in the NFL in Jefferson. So, look, everything's still on course. Everything's still there. It was worse than we would have hoped by a wide margin on Monday night, especially from the unit that's supposed to be the stable unit on this team. If you get your act together and beat Tennessee 24-13, like 27-10, like you don't have to be overly impressive. Just win the game, and the defense looks better. That's really all I'm looking for this week against the Titans, setting up for a short week against a New England team that, Jake, quite frankly, at least on the defensive side of the ball, is significantly better than I think a lot of people were giving them credit for going into the year.
They certainly look good in week one. I'm always hesitant, as you are, with the week one
Burrow's
overreactions.
Not healthy, man. Burrow's not healthy. He couldn't grab. He could barely grip the football by the end of the game. That Cincinnati team is a team that is probably not as good as we thought, but they do this crap every year. They look awful in the first month, and then when Burrow's been actually healthy, you look up in December and they're one of the best teams in football. So.
Yeah. When it comes to this game on Sunday, I mean, by accident, you should play better defensively because you're not facing the Niners. But, I want to see this pass rush get going here. Like, obviously, the Hassan Reddick situation continues to hang over this team. But Jermaine Johnson had an uncharacteristically bad game, as did, I thought, Will McDonald, Quinnen Williams. No one really game wrecked this game. Will Levis is a guy that you should be able to force some turnovers and get after him. But I want to play you something from Jermaine, Jeff, because I think the quote probably reads worse than what Jermaine actually said, but this was making some headlines earlier. Here's Jermaine Johnson being asked about Will Levis.
He's a talented athlete and they can throw the ball pretty well, but just watching film and just understanding some things about him, especially when he comes out, he's one of those guys that kind of, when things aren't going his way, he kind of can panic a little early, and just understanding how we can get him to that point as a defense and kind of how we can capitalize off of that. So just understanding how we're going to go throughout the week, understanding that what we can do on defense to make sure that we win this game.
So the quote that's making the news is he's a talented athlete, can throw the ball pretty well, but just watching the film and just understanding some things about him, especially when he comes out, he's one of those guys that when things aren't going his way, he kind of can panic a little early. I don't love it. I wish he didn't say it. I don't know if it will matter, but
I mean, I don't. It's not like he says he sucks.
No,
I mean, that's what it. Just watch.
They better dominate the game. They better dominate.
Just watch the film. That's what Will Levis is. I mean, just look at the pick six he threw last Sunday against the Bears. It was the worst play in the NFL last week.
It was
because he panicked and. I mean, it was so bad. Sanchez was like, "Oh!" as soon as he got rid of it. I mean, look, this is the type of quarterback that under Robert Saleh, when the Jets defense has been right, they have destroyed. And this is the type of team in Tennessee that, look, they don't have much expectations. They totally blew that game against Chicago. I mean, they just became, Jake, they became the second team as a 4-point underdog or more in the last 5 years to be up 17 in the game and not cover. I mean, they what they did on Sunday was epically bad in the second half. So again, I wonder how a young team that hasn't been together, especially with a young head coach, how they react to that sort of implosion. I mean, all they had to, I mean, again, I go back to what Callahan said on Monday. If they punted or they just taken a knee on all their offensive plays in the second half, Chicago wasn't scoring on them, which I know some people that are watching the show will be like, oh, okay, maybe we should be worried about their defense. Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons is a beast. They're improved in the secondary because L'Jarius Sneed's a legitimate number one corner, but this is still not a particularly great secondary. So I'm in the camp of just you have to beat the teams on your, at least at this point in the year, you have to beat the teams on your schedule that you are clearly better than. San Francisco's better than the Jets at the moment. There's no arguing now. We saw that to a T on Monday night. You have to beat Tennessee, you have to beat New England, and you have to beat Denver. These next three games are critical to the whole operation, Jake. If they go, look, 2-1's really not good enough in this stretch. You got to run the table against these three teams that, quite frankly, are three of the four, even though I think New England's a little better than people think, 3 to 4 worst teams in the AFC. That's the way it lined up for the Jets.
Yeah, they should be 4-1 at the bare minimum, 3-2. But I don't even want to think about that.
Minnesota, I I'm curious to see how much of that is that the fact that the Giants are awful. I'm curious to see how much of that was actually real from Minnesota and how much of that is that they were playing a bottom 3 opponent in the league.
We've also seen the Sam Darnold plays well at the beginning of the year, and then teams adjust, get his tendencies, and that's all she wrote. So I'm with you there. If they are going to win Sunday, Jeff, they obviously need way more plays on offense. And I really liked what we saw, albeit brief, from Rodgers. For his first game back in a year and a half, I thought he made some vintage Aaron Rodgers plays. He was really accurate. The advanced metrics back that out. And here's another thing, too, when it comes to Rodgers. I thought the offensive line in front of him did a nice job in pass protections against a really good 49ers defensive line. So all in all, they could get the run game going a little bit. AVT, another game under his belt. He's their best run blocker, arguably. I thought he wasn't great on Monday. I expect him to be better on Sunday. If they could get Brees going in the run game, that opens some things up. I think this offense is going to be fine. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers showed me enough in that first game where I feel like he's still capable of being a top 10 to 15 quarterback in this league, if not way better.
I mean, he graded out as a top 5 quarterback by PFF. Now, I don't love those guys, but again, it's a metric that people like looking at. Just look at the eye test. I mean, if Lazard makes that play on the first drive, all right, maybe the game, maybe at least that first half plays a little bit differently. The first touchdown drive was as good of a drive as the Jets have seen since Fitzpatrick was at quarterback in 15.
Oh my God, the three changing plays at a lot of scrimmage, third and long conversions.
There's a lot of stuff we haven't seen from Jet quarterback, honestly, maybe even since Pennington. In all honesty, the interception wasn't his fault. The only throw I didn't love from him was the 4th and 1. If he leads Wilson, that's a 15-yard play. But I mean, every quarterback makes bad throws during the game. It happens. It's just the nature of the sport. Again, I go back to what I said to you earlier on the offense. It all comes down to Hackett. If Hackett is going to be the worst coordinator in the NFL, the Jets are in trouble on the offensive side of the ball, despite all this talent, because there's only so much Aaron Rodgers can do audibling out of bad plays, Jake. And at some point, you have to have a play caller that actually knows what they're doing. And again, the problem for the Jets is the only guy on the staff that has called plays is Todd Downing. And Todd Downing, we know his history as a play caller is not particularly great either when he did it for 2 years in Tennessee. So, again, that was the whole deal of just not getting a real offensive staffer behind Hackett that once it goes awry, you could at least bench Hackett from play calling and have someone else call the plays. Brees played his worst game as a pro. Not really worried about him. He'll be fine. And he still put up reasonable numbers. Garrett will be fine. Just honestly, just keeping the emotions in check more so than anything for Garrett. Lazard, other than the drop on the first play, that was the best game Lazard's played as a Jet by a significant margin.
But that just shows you the chemistry with Rodgers is everything, which is why I think they'll get better as the year goes on. Because one, you're not playing the Niners defense. And two, like Garrett and Rodgers will have those game reps now going forward. You know, Garrett, Mike Williams will play more than 9 snaps too, Jeff. They'll get him in this offense as well.
Well, that's also the case. I mean, Mike Williams by week 4 will be seeing a full load of Mike Williams. I'm not surprised we barely saw him on Monday night, just doing what they did with Hall. They're being very precautious. Especially with Williams, who's had, forget just a knee injury last year. He's had a ton of injuries through his career, Jake. Just managing him early in the season will be critical for having him right when you need him at the end of the year. But again, it is really on Aaron Rodgers, Jake. Even more, and then Monday kind of showed me that even further, because in order to realistically have a high-end offense like some of us think is possible by the players, it's going to be on Aaron Rodgers because his play caller is not good enough. And that's again, once again, shown again on Monday night. I maybe it was vanilla because it was Rodgers' first game and said week 1 by some, at least offensive play calling wise, has been treated like a 4th preseason game, but the lights are on at this point. You can't be that vanilla and that just blah, especially when you barely had the ball. The way that game flow is going, you had to really convert on almost all your drives, and the play calling was not good enough in order to do that.
I tend to agree about Hackett, right? He is what he is. I also think because they didn't have enough plays, we really didn't get to see like the rhythm that Aaron Rodgers brings to an offense. You know what I mean? Like that, like when Rodgers was at his best in Green Bay, those last 2 MVP years, they were number 1 in the NFL in time of possession. And the Jets had 20 minutes of ball control in this game on Monday, and it was the lowest amount of TOP Rodgers has ever had in 225 career games. So I just think it was a little bit of an outlier. I'm not saying Hackett's good. I know what he is, but I do think there's room for way more creativity and getting other guys involved if they just simply run more plays.
I mean, 100%, Jake. I mean, if you have the ball for 20 minutes, you have to basically be perfect in order to win the game. Again, like, I really don't want to sound the alarm bells because they played, for me, the second best team in the NFL in their building in week 1. So, yeah, and the 2 years with Purdy as his quarterback, I mean, San Francisco went to Pittsburgh and annihilated the Steelers last year, week 1. That's another pretty damn good defense as well, Jake. And it made the Jets defense look like a college defense. So maybe just give the opponent some credit, too, for people that are freaking out. Like, the opponent was really good. I don't care that McCaffrey didn't play. If you look at it from a betting perspective, the line only moved a half point when McCaffrey got ruled out. So that just tells you all you really need to know about any running back at this point, Jake.
If you're watching live right now, stop what you're doing and smash the like button. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're talking with Jeff Parles in his weekly spot. Native New Jerseyan. Is that what it's called? New Jerseyan?
Yeah, but why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. It's like New Yorker, New Jerseyan.
We're not going to be in New Jersey. I mean,
yeah, you're a native New Jerseyan. He lives out in Vegas. He's a good man. Sports by the Book host. Check out Jeff's work. Follow him on Twitter at Jeff Parles. Jeff will be with us every Wednesday at this time throughout the Jets season. Did you watch Beningo with me yesterday, Jeff?
I got a little of it. I got a little of it, Jake. And,
it was tremendous.
Well, what do you expect after a performance like that? I mean, look, there's been a lot. It's been kind of interesting to see where the freaking out has come from. And not to say this about Joe, but for people on national shows right now, Jake, of just the freaking out nature of what that performance was. Again, I'm really not overly concerned unless the defense does it again and doesn't show up against the Tennessee team that has one of the worst offenses in football. And I will say this, and it was mentioned by some in the chat, the one move that Joe Douglas made that was a head scratcher because just what they ended up getting for him was John Franklin Myers.
Correct.
A player like John Franklin Myers would have very much helped in a game like this. And I know that Salah praised Clemens. I don't think Michael Clemens is a high-end player by any stretch of the imagination. The other guys they rotated in, there was a lot of undrafted players. Will McDonald was invisible when he was on the field. Same with Jermaine. Other than Quinnen really only had 2 plays in the game, and they both came early. So, again, one bad game for the defense. I don't want to throw away what we've seen the last few years and know what this defense is capable of. But if it doesn't show up against Tennessee, that's when we can have going into that New England game where that's another bad offense they'll see on a short week. Then we can start having a conversation. Hey, what's really going on here?
Correct. I mean, look, they played the Niners. It kind of reminds me of that Dallas game from last year where they had an uncharacteristically poor game on defense. I think they'll be all right. I'm not ready to say a defense with this many good players all of a sudden is going to go from 3rd in the NFL last year in DVOA to not being, a bottom or a top half of the league defense. Maybe they're not number 3 this year. Maybe the Reddick stuff hangs over them. A lot of changes there. There's some luck involved too with great defenses year over year, but there's too much talent for them to really struggle here. It's why they got to get right on Sunday. I know it's the road and all that, but playing in San Fran and getting humbled like that, the good teams respond to it. So I think that's good for the Jets. They're truly the team you and I think they could be. And then next Thursday night, I mean, it's a short week. You're playing New England, but you got them in your building, a divisional opponent well. Like, you got to stick it to them, man. They got to win these next 2. And then obviously you got to take care of business at home against Bo Nix and the Broncos, who looked awful in week 1 the following week.
I mean, again, Knicks, just going through those games. Knicks, I other than Bryce Young, who is hopeless at this point, Bo Nix was the worst quarterback in the NFL last week.
Was he worse than Jones, in your opinion?
Oh, I don't even think it was close, honestly. And Jones was awful. But Bo Nix, and the only drive that the Broncos had was prevent. I mean, they were handed all their points in the first half. And Caleb Williams threw for less than 100 yards. So, I mean, there was a lot of bad quarterback play in week one. But the Denver game, of all those games, that's the weakest of the three teams. Again, we've seen some weird stuff happen in Nashville against the Titans through the years for this Jet team, Jake. Some very good, some really ugly through the years against the Titans for the Jets in Nashville. So hopefully it's on the same level. Hey, the last time the former Green Bay quarterback went to Nashville as a Jet, the Jets were beating the hell out of the number 1 seed Titans in the regular season in the final good moment of that 2008 season, basically.
Super chats here. Let's get it going. Channel memberships, we're always looking for those as well. Ron Weiss checks in with our first one today, and he says, Jake, please tell me what would be the problem with signing Reddick for 3 years? Well, here's how I look at it, Ron. I'm not against giving Reddick more money. I've been steadfast from the beginning. If they had to tack on another year, I would do it. But I think when you talk about a 3-year deal for a guy who relies on speed, who's 30, I don't know if you want to be on the hook for the last year of that contract. I think at this point, there's really no path for him getting that kind of deal from the Jets. I just wonder, Jeff, your thoughts on how much longer this is going to go on. Are we ever going to get to a point where he is so just dug in on not playing at all? The money doesn't even mean anything to him anymore in his mind, and he'll just sit out the year or show up with 6 games to go so he can get his contract to not toll for the year and then be a free agent.
I go back to what I said before. I don't expect to see him anytime soon. So if they have another horrible defensive effort, maybe that spurs action on Douglas's end. But there are too many guys to pay on this defense coming up. The Patrick Surtain contract kind of messes with now having to give Sauce even more money than I thought they were going to have to give him. DJ Reed, let's face it, DJ Reed's not going to be back next year. Or when his contract is up, I should say. So no, there are too many guys on this roster that have to get paid in order to pay Reddick what Reddick wants. And also Reddick's I think he's on the back end of his career as well. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out, but I don't expect to see Reddick until, if we see him at all, like you said, we just see him so the year vest so he can be a free agent next year.
Story Lynn says the Titans game reminds me of the Raiders game. We should handle business, but we most likely will be screwed by the refs because of home field advantage. They lost the Raiders game last year, a game Jeff and I were both at in person, because they failed to score a damn touchdown again for the second game in a row.
That was not the refs doing that they lost that game. That was the Jets doing that they lost that game.
Yeah, they didn't score a touchdown. They didn't score a damn touchdown.
That was the Jets doing that they lost that game. And I'll just say this real quick with the in regards to the Titans right now. Again, this is only a 3.5 point line. This is not a gimme game by the way that the Vegas odds are making this out to be. You look at just the way that Tennessee played last week. And Jake, the one concern that I have going in when Tennessee has the ball, especially if Callahan realizes, hey, my quarterback is a lunatic. I can't really put him in positions where he has to make any sort of a difficult decision. And I'm just going to run the ball a ton after what San Francisco did. Tennessee is the best offensive line coach in football now. Our old friend Bill Callahan's there now. You and I both know how good Bill Callahan is an offensive line coach, Jake. We know that. We saw it. With the Rex era Jets, with how good those lines were under Callahan's tutelage. I know the Jets had some amazing players on that line, but they were even better because they had the right coaching of Callahan. So that is the only concern. That is the main concern in this game when Tennessee has the ball. Will they be able to run the ball effectively? Maybe not in the level San Francisco did, but if Tony Pollard's approaching 100 yards, that's a problem for the Jets in this game if that happens to be the case.
Well, what I would like to see is this defense to make adjustments and sell out and basically do the Zach Wilson to Will Levis, basically force Will Levis to beat you, because I don't think he can with this defense.
Well, look, and then you need your secondary to hold up, because if Levis has any skill set, he is good with the deep ball. That is his one skill that he does have, Jake. But I have no problem with you. If you're in a game and Tennessee is 65, 70 rushing yards as a team, go ahead, try to beat us that way. Go ahead. I have no problem with that. I agree, Jake.
Cali Jets writes in, just got out of jail Sunday night just in time for the Jets opener. Yeah. Cali Jets, baby. He is out. He is a free man.
Free stuff.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what you did, Cali, but I'm glad you're free. We appreciate your support. Jeff, you a big fan of Cali Jets getting out of prison?
It's one way to start the day, right?
Cali, happy for you, man. That's awesome. King Saria writes in, everyone needs to RELAX.
Correct. Just, again, if they lose this week. If they lose this week, you can panic all you want, everybody.
Yes. That was my take, too.
You can panic all you want. No problem if you want to panic. If they lose to Tennessee this week.
Now, I do have some comments here from our fearless leader, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. He spoke earlier today at his locker and was asked about the Jets and the fan base needing to stay relaxed.
I mean, I think we always got to stay relaxed. It's a long season. I think at times people think the season is like you're out in the prairie or the desert and you're wandering around trying to find water. But it's more like a nice, slow bolero, where we're just swaying with the music and reacting to whatever comes to us and through us, and just trying to not get too high with the highs or too low with the lows. The league is a lot different than when I said relax years ago, in that there's just so much more coverage, that there's so much more opportunity for overreaction. So I get it. We want to win. Fans want to win. The organization wants to win. But the process has to be the same. If it's good enough in week one, it's good enough in the playoffs. So we got to stick to the process and the preparation, the way that goes, and trust that it's good enough. Like a nice, smooth bolero.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. Nice and smooth. And by the way, I know Salah got some heat for this, but he's absolutely right. I'll take 0-1 over 1-0 on this day a year ago, Jeff, and our season was actually over.
I mean, 100%. 100%. It's without a doubt, they are in better shape long term than they were a year ago, even with the win in the ledger in a division game, no less, with Buffalo. And again, also too, I know there are some out there that are freaking out that the rest of the division is 3-0. New England, whatever. We know that New England's ceiling is still only 5 or 6 wins, even with upsetting Cincinnati. So don't be worried about them. And I mean, if you watch the other 2 games, Buffalo really struggled against an Arizona team that, look, I already warned you on this, Jake. I think that game in Phoenix is going to be hard for the Jets when it comes around, especially in the placement of the schedule in between a lot of difficult games. And Miami had a game that was handed to them on a silver platter because the Jaguars choked it away. So a total gag job by the Jags. I mean, if ETN doesn't fumble, the game's over. 24/7. Good night. See you later. Again, tomorrow night will be actually fun. And Jake, I'm actually kind of curious who the Asmaniacs actually want to root for in that Buffalo-Miami game.
Good question.
Because I think we've almost reached the point where Miami has become significantly more offensive to me than Buffalo. Because at least Buffalo's won some playoff games, Jake. What have you done, Miami? You've won nothing. You lost twice in the playoffs, and you're getting crowned as a top offense, and you're not that good. Really not that good.
No, and
as bad as what it's worth, I think Buffalo's better than Miami. I'd rather have Buffalo's going to be in the playoffs one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have Buffalo give Miami a loss in division at home in a game that Miami's favored in.
Yeah, I think the Bills is the play, right? I think the Bill, but I don't know. I'll say this: Dolphins fans bother me more than Bills fans because, and I hate Bills fans too. I had an awful experience going to Jets Bills in 2016. I'll never go back for a game there. But the Dolphin fan acts as though they've accomplished a lot when in reality their last playoff win came with Bill Clinton in office. And as bad as the Jets have been,
a long time ago, Jake.
Yeah, as bad as the Jets have been, right? Longest playoff drought in the NFL. They have won 6 playoff games since the last time Miami won a playoff game. And I also would like to add that we as Jet fans, we know we suck. The Dolphin fan acts as if they're the Patriots and they've been this dominant force that's won all these championships. They had one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and didn't win bleep with the guy. So as bad as the Jet history can be, you could actually argue Miami's is worse.
Done more with less, or less with more, I should say. Done less with more. So, hey, look, it'll be very interesting to see again as we progress through. And now, at least going back to the Jets' perspective for this week, Jake. And there's just one more note I want to bring out here. And you mentioned it earlier with Mike Williams. I just am curious to see how long this pitch count is on him. I don't expect it to be 9 plays. It'll probably be closer to 20 this week against the Titans. But if the Jets offense, and as good as Lazard played on, other than the opening drop on Monday night, the Jets need Mike Williams. Because if you slide Lazard back to be a 3 with Rodgers and Williams is a legitimate 2, then you become really difficult to cover all the way through. Conklin didn't do it. I mean, Conklin even have a catch with Rodgers. His catch was only in the Tyrod drive, right?
Yeah, which, by the way, is a minor victory. Tyrod Taylor with a better drive than most of anything we saw last year from a Jet quarterback.
If anything, that might have pissed you off because it's like if this guy was our backup quarterback last year, they might have won 10 games.
That's right. They'd be a playoff team.
So, I mean, I think that's just all it is more than anything.
Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. I have an exciting announcement for the people. So, Jeff, you're part of our esteemed weekly guest lineup. We're trying to get channel emojis for every guest. This one was created by the great Joe Mike. What are your thoughts on your Asmaniac Edgemo here, Jeff?
Sorry.
Not moving the needle for you? Oh, hold on.
Not moving the needle. Not moving the needle. I think we, I don't know. Something's throwing me off here, and it's not just my fat face that's throwing me off. But I don't know. Where's Gator on this, by the way?
Well, Gator's very busy. Joe Mike likes to make emojis as well. But I'm just telling. I don't know how to make anything. All right, I barely know how to do.
So this is better than anything I could put together too. So I agree with you.
So Joe Mike is doing his thing here, but if anyone else wants to give it a shot,
I want to try one other alternative real quick because I don't know, something's not meshing for me. I just can't put my finger on it, unfortunately.
All right. Well, if anyone wants to give it a whirl, asmanjake@gmail. YouTube's requirements are channel emojis have to be an image aspect of 1 by 1. So we will continue to work on that. We need more memberships anyway. We need about 50 to even add this emoji. So turn on gift receipts. Maybe someone makes it rain. If not, you could join the old-fashioned way by hitting that join button and becoming an official channel member. Before we get to your calls, today we are presented by my dear friends at The Perfect Jean. Jeff, I know you need a new pair of jeans. Listen up.
Trust me, you'll never go back to your Levi.
Hold on. I got a call in the middle of this. Somehow my laptop connected to my phone here, and it just screwed up the whole stream.
Did
the commercial play?
The commercial only played for a split second. You need to play
God,
again.
Who the I'm going to lose my mind. Stand by. Listen to The Perfect Jean. Get jeans.
Trust me, you'll never go back to your Levi's after you try these. The Perfect Jean is known for its unique denim fabric that stretches for comfort when you're on the go.
I want to feel comfortable in my jeans. The Perfect Jean provides a size for everyone.
You can literally choose the color, style, and size. It doesn't get any easier than buying these jeans.
Do yourself a favor and stop wasting money on jeans that you'll stop wearing after one wash. Get the Perfect Jean.
All right. If it works how it's supposed to work now, you heard the ad. The Perfect Jean. Simple enough. I'll make it easy for all of you. You guys need new jeans. They're comfortable. They come in different styles, different shades. Best fabric you're gonna find. I'm telling you, The Perfect Jean. 15% off. Code Asman15. F your khakis. Get yourself The Perfect Jean. Go to their website. It's linked in the description. And once again, smash that promo code Asman15 at checkout, and you will get yourself the best jeans you can find. All right, let's bring Jeff back on right now. Jeff, are you ready for some Asmaniac phone calls here on the program?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Gusbuster Hotline is open. James B is first up. Hello, James.
Oh, Jake, you got me on first. I appreciate that. How are
I
you
just
guys
go
doing?
in order, man. I don't play favorites on this program.
All right on. Well, yeah, I'll just get right to it. I'm hearing this common opinion quite often throughout the no, the Jet world. But Jeff, I agree with everything you said. I saw enough to be excited by the offense, at least. I mean, how could you not? There were some mistakes, but the Brees Hall fumble, a drop pass, those are early mistakes that you get out maybe in a training camp or a preseason or the beginning of the season anyway. So I think they will get that dialed in. There were some alarm bells, of course, with the defense because I haven't seen that from our defensive line in particular, and I don't know how long. I don't even think in the Saleh era I witnessed that. But also our secondary, and maybe it was just a combination of not getting any pressure, and it kind of affected our secondary maybe because they weren't used to that. That the only thing I do have to say that about the play calling, yeah, I don't like Hackett, but I do think that the changes at the line though have always been a part of the Rodgers West Coast style offense. Like they give him a foundation to go out on the field on, and then half the plays he's even on the Packers, half the plays or more he's always changing at the line based on what he's reading. But yeah, I think this is going to be just like 2010. I don't know if you guys remember. You guys must remember, but the Pats beat the Jets 45-3 one game, and the Patriots actually broke a record for like the quickest time to score 3 touchdowns. I think it was a normal touchdown followed off by, what was it, like an interception, pick 6 by Sanchez, and then immediately it was a fumble return on the kickoff for a touchdown. But anyway, later in the year, the Jets wound up beating the Patriots, in the playoffs. So, I mean, losing 45-3 is worse than what we did this year. So that's fantastic in my eyes if that's how it's going to be. But I think it needs to be this way though. So I think we might see the San Francisco 49ers again. Who knows? But the only thing I have to say additionally is if we do bad this season with the healthy Rodgers, I do think it's clean house, unfortunately, because this has been too long. But I wanted to get your opinions on that. Like, if we do bad now with a healthy Rodgers, what are your thoughts?
Real quick, James, what's considered bad? Like miss the playoffs?
Yeah, if we miss the playoffs or even go less than 500 for the year, I consider that a pretty epic failure based on, everything we've been told.
James, if that happens, everyone's gone, 100%.
Everyone's gone, and maybe even Rodgers retires at that rate. I mean, 100%. James did conflate 2 different Patriot debacle games.
Yeah, he was bringing up the 2012 game at Thanksgiving.
The butt fumble game with the 3 touchdowns one. But that 45-3 game was as bad of a night as there's ever been. And I was there Martin Luther King Day weekend in Foxborough, Jake. And it
January 16th, 2011.
It was as sweet of a moment as I probably will ever have in my sports watching thing, since my idiot baseball team I think is getting no hit right now. But I mean, look, I go to James's last point. If this team misses the playoffs, Douglas, Saleh, everybody, adios, see you later. And quite frankly, it'd be a very interesting job moving forward because of how many guys are up contract wise within the first 2 years after a new GM and head coach would be in.
Question for those who have a MacBook. How do I get rid of my cell phone picking up calls on the MacBook? I can't figure it out. I've been getting spam calls all day. It's ruining the show. It is disgraceful what is happening here, and I will not stand for it. So I can use some help. Could use some help with the chat.
By the way, just so you know, you were totally fine other than the commercial. The commercial is the only thing that was funky.
Yeah, I'm not having it, man. I'm sick of the tech issues. I'm live for 4 hours a day. I have had no sleep this week. I can't. Anyway, yeah, JJ with a super chat.
Dane in the chat's actually right. Turn your Bluetooth off and you'll be fine.
Is that it? All right, we'll do that. JJ says, I'm tired of the excuses. Saleh got outcoached by his old team. He's not a good coach. We had a bad game plan. I've seen enough from Saleh. He stinks. JJ, you might end up being right, but here's the bottom line. They're not firing the coach 1 game into a 17-game season. So just hope it was a bad night. He's a defensive guy. His defense had a bad night. He has proven to coach that side of the ball well. Say whatever you want about him as a head coach. He's at least proven he's an excellent defensive coach. I expect the Jets to bounce back. When they face some really good teams, we'll highlight the coaching, and that will tell us a lot. But, Jeff, as you said, the Niners are probably the second best, if not the best team in the NFL. It's a 1 game. It's week 1. Yeah. Let's take a breath.
And they're the best team the Jets play the whole season, and they threw them in week 1. So again, Jake, I said what I said earlier in the show for a reason. Again, if this team is, if we see this team getting to New Orleans, there has to be an improvement from the coaching staff throughout the year as well, on top of obviously we talked about the whole show of the defense. But look, I hope JJ may end up being right here. Very easily may being right, but Salah's making it at least till the bye week, Jake. Bare minimum, and more likely than not making it through the whole year, regardless of what happens.
Like, I understand we have concerns about the head coach, but I can't fire the guy after one game. Like, let's relax.
Jake, I will say this though: if the let's say the defense gets their act together, which I think is more likely to happen than not, but the offense starts to look flummoxed or flounder a little bit, and they're sitting there around 500, around week 10, then you might see a change in play call. That would be the only coaching thing I could possibly see happen midstream for this Jet team this year, Jake.
Does Todd Downing make any difference?
Maybe. And that would be worth making. That would be, if the scenario presents itself, that'd be the only coaching change that would even remotely make sense.
Hit the like button.
Not saying it will happen. I doubt it will happen, but
more calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the line is our dear friend, Tim from Fishland. Hello, Tim.
Jake, what's going on, my man?
Tim?
So I got a couple takes. This is Bella. She says hi.
Okay. Bella's a dude?
Huh?
You said he says hi. Is Bella a dude?
She says.
Okay, she says. I thought you said he.
She says hi, see? One thing is, they got to stop the run. That's number one. You got to walk before you can run. Okay? And you got to be able to run the ball. You can't ask a 40-year-old quarterback to drop back and throw 40 times in a game. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Okay? That's the biggest thing with them I want to see is them stopping this run, because we know Callahan. Callahan's a great gap scheme run coordinator. Okay? And that's exactly what Shanahan did to us. All right? And this has been a problem for a couple of years with Saleh. And it's still it comes and rears its head at the ugliest time. Yes, I guess San Francisco is a better team, but that was like literally what I do to people on Madden online. Okay, it's just a bully ball all day. They literally punched us in the mouth. Okay, so that's the thing. And then you guys were talking about the Dolphin game and the Buffalo game. If I were a bet man, and I'm taking the Dolphins. You know why? It is so freaking hot down here.
It's a night game, though. Is it going to be that hot tomorrow night?
Humidity.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's tropical moisture in the atmosphere that it's like 90% humidity. All right, we got like this trough of tropical moisture going throughout the whole state almost. Okay, and it's raining every day by like 11 a.m., noon. It is so like the air down here is so heavy. Okay, and the Dolphins play this game right. In the fourth quarter, if they start running the ball, I could see Buffalo or the Bills just dropping like flies. All right, on the D line, especially linebackers, all that stuff. And there's a great bet on Hard Rock that I just took out on plus 2250. Tyreek Hill and Josh Allen that have plus 1.5 touchdowns each anytime.
Jeff, you're the betting guy. Your thoughts on that one?
So Miami early in the season that was a really good point there. The humidity always plays a role. There's a reason in New England when Brady went down there and lost a ton just because they couldn't handle the humidity. We've seen Buffalo go down there early in the season 2 years ago. If you remember that wacky game where Buffalo outgained Miami by 300 yards and lost, that was week 3. So that was one of those where Buffalo struggled with a whole assortment of issues. I actually like the Bills in the game. The one concern that I have on both ends is I don't trust either defense. Buffalo really struggled with Arizona early in the game. Miami struggled with Jacksonville. Miami's offensive line struggles, I think, had more to do with the fact that the Jags actually have a good pass rush this year. But Josh Allen's the best player in the game. I know Tyreek Hill's there, but Josh Allen's the best player in this game.
And it's less than 3.
And
So
yeah, I wish it. Well, if it was 3, it'd be an auto play on Buffalo. But
would you buy the half point if it stays at
no,
2.5?
no. The books jack it too badly on that phrasing, Jeff. The books really put the price too high when you're trying to buy 2-3 or off of 3. So that's I wouldn't do it. I actually just like Buffalo money line. That would be the play I would do in tomorrow night's game.
Buffalo money line. Jeff Parles, baby. Ray Danger with a super chat. He says, I think we need the reserve judgment on Saleh because of the quarterback situation, but Hackett stinks, and I blame Saleh for not adding another play caller to the staff. I'm trying to stay positive. Hackett scares me. It's all fair. The problem they ran into, they tried to hire other qualified people. No one wanted the job because it's not, what are you? You're the assistant to Hackett? Like, are you actually going to get to give input when it's Aaron Rodgers basically running the show? And because he's a Hackett guy and is comfortable with him, you're not going to replace him?
You should have hired Matt Flynn, Jake.
Matt Flynn. Is he a coach anywhere?
I don't know, but Rodgers, but that one game, he made Matt Flynn the richest backup of all time, basically.
Yeah. Matt Flynn was slinging it that day against the Lions. Unreal. Oh, man. I don't know. Look, time will tell, obviously, on all this. Comments, questions, super chats, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Make sure, more importantly, you subscribe to the show, and you'll be hearing me talk about it all throughout the week. We're running it back. Our second regular season watch party is this Sunday. The Jets scored 3 touchdowns at our first one. How many are they scoring on Sunday? It's all happening, baby. It's all happening. Jeff, what are your thoughts on the Jets not only scoring 3 touchdowns, but doing so in a win on Sunday?
That'd be pretty nice, wouldn't it?
Not too
be pretty
shabby.
nice. Again, that 24-10 pocket, what makes sense for Sunday, right? I mean, that's what makes the most sense to me. You hold down Tennessee, you do what you do, and there you go. Got to win. Get everyone's ass to MetLife on Thursday night to watch them beat the Patriots at home for the first time. You know what the stupid thing is, Jake? Up until last year, I think it was at the last 2 games the Jets had beaten New England in.
Because you went to the Geno game in 2013 and the Fitz game
with Fitzpatrick, and then I was at the overtime game with Geno his rookie year.
Yeah,
where the Jets got totally bailed out by that penalty when Folk missed the long kick, and then they got the ball back because of the penalty.
Good times.
Good times. That Jared 2013 Jet season is still one of the more, during this run of non-playoff berths, the most absurd season this franchise has had. Because the fact that they were 8-8 with like a negative 190 point differential was totally ridiculous.
8-8. Rex Ryan Gatorade bath after beating the Dolphins to get to 8-8. Amazing.
Ridiculous.
More calls right now. This guy usually has some quick takes. Purple Belt Mike is next. Hello, Mike.
Nice.
What's going on? Jeff, I just wanted your take with the best fix for the defensive line with what we have, assuming Hassan Reddick is not going to come play, and basically just them running the ball at Clemens.
No, it's a really good question. So I think the biggest thing that I noticed from Monday was that Quinton Williams was receiving 2 bodies on him at more times than not. And it then is going to come down to your defensive ends being able to play a little bit more and win their one-on-one battles. And whoever that second player happens to be in that rotation, they're going to have to step up a little further as well. Gap integrity will be important for the linebackers. I can't tell you, just watching back, when Sherwood, the 49ers did an amazing job attacking the area that Sherwood happened to be. Going away from Mosley, going away from Quincy Williams, attacking the weak portion of that part of the defense. They did in the pass game as well, when they managed to get Ashton Davis was covering Deebo Samuel on multiple occasions. So Shanahan did a great job picking apart the weaker parts of the Jet defense. There are not a lot of offenses and offensive minds that are capable of doing that. But the simple fix is what I said first. If Quinn's getting doubled, the other guys have to step up, and the linebacker gap integrity is crucial to stopping the run moving forward.
Do you foresee Salo letting go of his no blitz mentality and adding in some blitz?
I might have to. I mean, we kind of Purple Belt Mike. We kind of saw this with Rex too, right? I mean, there were obviously at the beginning it was pressure heavy defenses because he didn't have a lot of great pass rushers on his team. I mean, Calvin Pace was the best pass rusher on those teams. Calvin Pace was a nice player, but he wasn't a star by any means. So, yeah, you might have to see that happen, which then will put more pressure on the secondary, and the secondary winning their one-on-one matchups against the receivers going into patterns. I don't think you need the blitz to get pressure this week against Tennessee, and you really don't need the blitz to get Levis to make mistakes. I think this week is not a good week for that. Down the road, maybe, but I don't think that will happen this week against Tennessee.
Thanks, brother.
You got
PBM, one of the greats. All right, Jeff.
Questions?
We got some heavy hitters for you still on the line, so we'll get to as many as we can before.
Robbie's waiting, right?
Oh, he didn't call the first show today, but guess what? He has called in to talk to Jeff Parles.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Hello,
I
Bob.
wasn't up at 9 o'clock this morning. Sorry, Jake. Okay.
It's okay, Bob. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm good. Other than the fact that looks like the Mets might get no hit by the Blue Jays, which is
No, that's not good.
not what you want. But no, it's fun talking football as always, Bobby.
The Jets offense scored more points than the Giants. They scored 6. You guys scored 19. So that's better than the smelly Giants, like you brought out, And guess what Barkley did the other day? He scored 3 touchdowns by himself. Remember?
Bob, you're a Jet fan now. You don't worry about the smelly Giants.
Hey, well, no, he brought up the Giants before, so I'm bringing up a point, okay?
I mean, he briefly mentioned the Giants in regards to
because they
bad
stink.
quarterback performances. Yes,
I have to agree.
Actually, Jake, you mentioned the Giants first. That just
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I saw it on the Bet US. I saw that.
I got you, Bobby. Don't worry.
That's a different show. All right, Bob, are you getting another call? Bobby Midnight Enterprises?
No, that's a potential spam.
Are you the CEO of Midnight Enterprises? How many people work for the company now?
None.
Really?
None. So, yeah, I think the Jets are going to win this weekend because that quarterback on Tennessee is not that good. Because did you see the Bears defense? They just destroyed that quarterback. They intercepted him, I think, twice and sacked him a few times. He's not that good. So I think the Jets. Okay, one question about the Jets defense this week.
Okay.
Why do you think they played off the players so much? What's your opinion about that?
Wait, hold on, Bobby. Say that one more time, please.
You know how the Jets defense played like 7 yards away from the players on the 49ers?
Okay.
Can you explain that to me?
I mean, I think that was pretty simplistic of just the fact that the Niners have all these weapons and you can't commit to stacking the box against the backup running back.
He destroyed you. Why didn't you change the defense?
The whole offense, Bobby, the one thing with, again, it goes back to what I said earlier, like you're dealing against a top flight team with a top flight offense, top flight options on the outside, and the second best play caller in the NFL, and Kyle Shanahan. So
yeah, that's true.
You say hard offense to play against doesn't excuse the Jets for not playing well, but it is a difficult offense to contend against, and there are plenty of good defenses that have gotten smacked like the Jets did by the 49ers in the Kyle Shanahan era, especially when he's at high-end teams.
Right. I asked Andrew yesterday. I think he said the same thing too. So, all right. Nice call, Jeff, and nice call, Jake. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, Jeff. I miss you, guy. You're number one.
Good to see you as always, Bobby.
Nice to see you, Jeff.
Bobby.
Bye.
Oh, I'm doing another Zoom meeting. Oh, Farts Jake's going live. Gotta end my friggin' stream. Bye.
All right. All right, Jeff. I got one more for you before we say goodbye. All right.
Okay.
I think your all-time favorite is maybe on the line right now.
Oh.
I know maybe you don't play favorites, but either way, ladies and gentlemen, V-Man.
V-Man is here. How we feeling?
Hi, is it tight? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you this. I think you both will be pissed. Did you guys see what Connecticut did?
Did I see what Connecticut did?
No, yeah. Apparently they changed their "Welcome to Connecticut" signs to have the label "Best Pizza in America."
Hmm. Well, you know what? That's if Connecticut wants to claim New Haven as the best, I mean that's really all they seemingly have in that state. So
I mean,
God bless them.
Frank Pepe's white clam is as good as anywhere, but across the board, no, not the case.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get that out of the way and see how the chat's reacting to that. But on this game, with talking about this game with Tennessee, like I agree. Like I said, I'm not overly concerned. I'm not panicking in any way about anything. Like I feel like this is the game. This is a game that you should easily be able to bounce back with and get yourself in a groove. And that's the key for the Jets, that they have to get into a groove so they can have a strong season. And on the Dolphins stuff, I love that you're joking with the Dolphins. Like I hate I want the Bills to win because I hate the Dolphins. Like, bro, you haven't won since the Clinton administration. I mean, every year when they fail to win a playoff game, I tweet out to Dolphins fans the GIF of Bill Clinton on the what's the show? What's that comedian from Coming to America who plays his
Eddie
friend
Murphy?
who plays Eddie Murphy? Arsenio on the Arsenio Hall show, where Bill Clinton on the Arsenio Hall show playing the saxophone. I always tweet that GIF. I say, congratulations, Dolphins. Another year and you still haven't won since the Clinton administration. Take your GIF of Bill Clinton playing the saxophone and wait another year.
Hey, V-Man, did you watch the debate last night?
Nah, I didn't feel like I was watching Shaun of the Dead. I want to watch something that's going to make me laugh.
What do you mean? You're our political correspondent on this show.
Wait,
I didn't feel like what I just wasn't honestly. I just not feeling the mood to watch it. So I just wanted to watch silly zombie comedy. So that's why I want to watch it.
All right. I figured you'd be all over it as someone who follows this stuff closely and provides a unique perspective on it.
Sorry, I didn't feel like
V-Man?
My thing just glitched out twice. So yeah, my thing just glitched out like about a whole 5 or 10 seconds there, so I couldn't tell what you were saying.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, no, I just didn't watch it. I've watched clips. It's a bit wacky, I think, at some points, but I'm not gonna get it. I don't feel like getting into it right now.
All right. Well, V-Man, thank you for the time.
All right, thanks. Peace.
We now go live to our political expert, Vincent.
You engage and support a party that doesn't do jack shit. You want to see a real third party in action?
Helping us change the world. Thank you, V-Man.
I mean, he's a correspondent in the political world. I was going to get his takes, but I guess not. Anyway, Jeff, excellent job out of you as always. Give us a score prediction for Sunday. You going with 24-10 Jets?
I'm going 20. I'm going to not going to be that easy, Jake. We're going to have to sweat the last drive. It's going to be 24-17 is what I'm going with. That the Jets win by a touchdown. There will be things that we still have to critique next week, but the Jets find a way, get it done, win by a touchdown, and head home to take on the Patriots, who I think are going to be 2-0, Jake, as ridiculous as that may seem.
Do you think they're going to beat Seattle, and that game is in New England? Okay.
I do. And the Jets are going to have to slap them down and give them their first loss of the year on that Thursday night.
Now, before you go, Jeff, you gave your take. I want your take on Lane Train's prediction for the game.
Great game. I know Aaron Rodgers did well tonight. Look, it's only one game. Everybody's complaining that the season's over. Week 2, they're playing Tennessee. We're going to win. I guarantee that they're going to win 37-29.
It's a lot of points. Yeah.
Wow. Jets almost going over the total by themselves, Jake. By the way, the Mets busted up a no-hitter with Lindor homering to tie the game. So
there it is. I'm on delay.
Jake, I know you're a Yankee fan, but take that to the people in the chat. openly rooting against me in that.
How about the guy in the hotel room with the OMG sign there that SNY just showed? Pretty good.
Well, I will tell you that is. Have you ever been to that stadium?
I have
Jake?
not. No.
First off, Toronto, amazing city, one of my favorite places in North America. The hotel, I've stayed in that hotel that's attached to Rogers Center. You sit at the hotel bar, you look out and watch the game from the hotel bar. It's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
It's amazing. It's a lot of fun.
Well, Jeff, enjoy Vegas. I wish I was attending a meal at Carbone with you this evening like last time.
Dude, I wish I was too. Anytime, Jake, as you know, and I'll say this to all the Asmaniacs. If any of you come to Vegas at any point and want to take Jake or out of Carbone, we will listen.
We'll be there.
And we will find a way to be there.
Jeff, you're the man. I'll talk to you next week. All right, man.
Thank you, Jake. Talk to you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Parles. Check out his work on social media. He joins us every week on the program. Lots still to do. We got people on hold who want in on the conversation. So we'll get into your calls in just a second. I want to remind everybody that if you haven't already, that you RSVP for our watch party on Sunday. You've heard me talk about it. It's going to be an absolute blast. I also want to give a shout out to one of our great listeners, Johnny Danks, who sent me this photo earlier. You could see on his table there is a script. Johnny is an Asmaniac. He's been to some of our events before. Some of you guys have probably seen him in the chat. Johnny is an actor, and he is co-starring in a future movie opposite Alec Baldwin. So I just want to give him a shout out because he sent me this photo earlier today. He's got the Jake Asman coffee mug from the merch store, and he's going over his script in a movie he's co-starring in with Alec Baldwin. So shout out to our guy, Johnny Danks, who did tell me he'll be at T-Squared on Sunday for our watch party. So looking forward to watching the game with him and all the other Asmaniacs who are making the trip out. All right, comments, questions, super chats. We are seeking more channel members. We have a grand total of 0 so far this show. So whether Jeff likes it or not, he will get a channel emoji. It's just a matter of which one. Either way, we do, in fact, need more channel members so we could potentially put this into fruition. All right. More of your calls right now. A lot of people want in on the conversation, but yesterday was a very special day. It was Tuesday, September 10th. It was the birthday for Charles Eugene M. Gorman.
You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. I'm not saying that Lowski takes steroids. At least some of it. Hey, Charles! Who is that lovely lady? Send it this way, Charles!
Here he is, Charles Gorman. What's up, Charles? How was the birthday?
It was good, man. Just came back from the mall, Menlo Mall, walked around a little bit, got a little bite to eat, went to Chick-fil-A, got myself a grilled chicken sandwich.
You went with a grilled chicken sandwich over the standard Chick-fil-A sandwich?
I wanted something light, you know. I didn't want to keep myself contained for dinner, you know.
You got to go with the deluxe, though. Come on.
I have to be careful when I eat raw tomatoes because my father's allergic to raw tomatoes.
Tomatoes?
Tomatoes, you know.
Yeah, that accent of yours is coming out, Charles. I like it.
Thank you. So yeah, hopefully the Jets rebound this Sunday. This will
Did
really
you wish
tell
for
me
it on your birthday?
Yes, but I'm still praying for it, my friend. You always got to keep praying.
Absolutely. I'm praying right now.
Hopefully they do. I mean, for Robert Saleh's sake, I mean, to me, this is the year he's fighting for his job. My father's still not crazy about him. My father says, you know, he may be a good guy, but as a coach, he hasn't really shown me much.
Dennis?
My father, yes.
Just wanted to confirm.
So that's all I really wanted to talk about. Just want to pop in, say hello, give my thoughts a little bit.
So Dennis Gorman, not crazy about Salah. That's the big take?
Well, he never really was. I mean, my dad originally wanted to trade for Sean Payton, but They got Robert Saleh.
Tom A says, if you lose Dennis, you lost the nation. Is this true?
I don't know. I prefer if you call my dad Mr. Garmin, but that's another story. You lost the nation. I don't know what say we lost the nation, but it is what it is, man.
What will it take for Dennis to be a believer in Robert Saleh?
It's consistency, man. It's consistency in winning. Needs to show more leadership. Needs to take more accountability. Needs to be the CEO of the whole team, not just of which part of the team he wants to. So,
well, I think he's done that. They just haven't won. I think this is the year to prove it. They got the quarterback. They got a good team around them.
Talent-wise, yes, but we'll see, my friend. We'll see.
Tom says, my apologies to Mr. Gorman. I crossed the line.
I appreciate that, Thomas. I appreciate that. Look, I'm also glad that I showed you my mom yesterday. It was great
to meet your mom. That was awesome.
As I said before, my mom's one of my biggest supporters, I'll also be if I don't show up tomorrow on any one of your shows, I'm going to be at Trenton, New Jersey. I'll be attending my Alliance Center for Independence annual Rev Up event. Rev Up stands for Register, Educate, and Vote. As you know, the presidential election's coming up soon.
Is it?
Yeah, November.
Oh, it's the first time hearing of this.
Aha, very funny.
Thank you.
Anyways, have fun. Continue doing great things on your show, Jake. Peace out.
Well, before you go, Charles, some more questions are coming in from the chat here. A lot of people want to know, including the lovely lady, as you would say, Carly. She writes, when is Charles coming to T-Squared? Are you busy on Sunday, Charles?
I might be just watching the game home. I don't trust New York City.
What do you mean? You can take the train in.
I'll be fine. I'll watch the game home. Like I did.
Who is that lovely lady? Come on. You can do it in person. It'll be great.
If I tell my mom and dad, hey, Jake Asman wants me to go to Times Square, they're going to be like, no, I got to look. Even though I just turned 30, I still got to listen to my parents. Well, I really want to go to the Jets Media Day, but my parents were like, we never met these people in person.
Couple things here. We're not actually in Times Square. We're in Midtown at a sports bar. Important line of delineation. This is not New Year's Eve with the ball dropping, watching the Jets. You will be inside a venue with other like-minded football fans cheering for your football team. Many of which you probably have met already because they were at the New Jersey meetup you attended.
Mm-hmm.
What will it take to get you there, Chuck? How can we make this happen?
You mean Charles?
Yes.
Keep forgetting that.
Of course, Charles.
It depends on, how I feel about it. I don't feel comfortable going to New York.
Well, if you take the train to Grand Central, it's about a 2-minute walk from Grand Central. So you're really only in New York from your walk from Grand Central to T-Squared Social. And then you're inside a venue with me and all your friends.
I'll think about it, Jake, okay?
All right. Look, I appreciate you thinking about it.
Thank you.
Carly has some hot friends coming too, Charles. I'm just, between you and I, I'll let you know that.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right. They're big fans of yours.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. All right. He's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Gorman.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I'm going to talk about Spider-Man and movies and sports and video games and maybe hot chicks.
I mean, it's in the intro. He loves hot chicks. I'm just doing my part here, people. More calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. We say hello to someone who was at T-Squared Social for our first event of the regular season on Monday. We say hello to Dre, who joins us now. Hello, Dre.
How you doing, Jake, my brother? So honored to follow Charles. And let's put it this way. So Charles and his parents, Mr. Dennis Gorman and Mrs. Gorman, they have put all their eggs in the Charles basket. Charles is their pride and joy. So they're just concerned about security and safety. If you can guarantee, if we could get, it's going to have to be Rob, Rob, big fella, one of those two guys, that size, or Shine. If Shine can come out, Shine's already met Charles. They might feel comfortable with ease with Shine, so we can make this happen. But unfortunately, I will not be in attendance. And I'm here to just try to defend Salah. Everybody, I know everybody's losing their mind. I saw what JJ wrote, and I hope that JJ's on the line to try and talk to. I would love for him to be, if he's in the back, come on out.
No, I can't. We're too early in the season for Dre versus JJ on the coach. I can't do it. It's one game. It is one game. They're going to win on Sunday, and we'll go from there. Everyone relax.
And what have we been saying all off season? Salah, we don't know what we have with Salah. Salah's never had a quarterback even remotely as good as Aaron Rodgers. And we all got to see Tyrod on there. Tyrod moved that offense very easily. So if we would have had Tyrod last year, it'd be a whole different story. So stop with we got to fire Salah. He's got to go. He's a terrible coach. Did he get out coached? Yeah. Do most coaches get out coached by Kyle Shanahan? I rest my case. So let's see what he has. Let's be patient. It's one game. That's why I said they were going to be 14-3. This was one of their 3 losses. The time to panic is much closer to the trade deadline than today. So no more panicking. Let's see what happens. Let them get some movement going. ABT had a horrible game. Let's see what he has when he bounces back. It's never about if you're going to get hit. It's about how many times can you get hit and get back up. And that's it. That's what we are focused on, the long haul.
No, finish the line. That's how winning is done. Let's go, Rocky Balboa.
You know what it was. You know where I was going. So
also, announcement for Gator, who's in the chat. I've been introducing Dre with the Brock Purdy. He's going to die. Obviously, that did not go well. That backfired.
And I take full responsibility for that.
We need a new intro. We need a new intro for you, Dre. That's all I'm saying. All right, this will be the last time I play this.
He's gonna die. All right, we'll come up with something good. Maybe when Garrett gets his 28 touchdowns. Which now he will definitely need multiple scores to catch up since he got shut out during week 1. But that's all right. I still believe. Let's go.
Dre, all right. From your lips to God's ears.
JETS. Jets. Let's go. Stay focused.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dre with a passionate call. When you think of passion on this show, you think of a call like that. Or you think of Boy Green and his fiance. Really depends. Ray wants to know, hey, Charles, any dessert today at Chick-fil-A? Charles, let us know if you got any dessert. Nate writes in, surprised Dre is not a Lazard 28 touchdown resident. That's a good point. Lazard's the one who had the 2 touchdowns. Dre was talking about Garrett Wilson scoring 2 every game. Well, Lazard, I'm not good at math, but what's 17 times 2? That's how many touchdowns Alan Lazard's on pace for this season. All right. Tom Ace, who apparently is a confidant of Charles Gorman, is saying that Charles will require 2 lovely ladies. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, there will be plenty of women in the house on Sunday. All right. So if that's what it takes to get Charles Gorman in the building, have no fear. All right. We will have the ladies in the house. Alex says, to be honest, dudes defending Salah are the ones who sound panicked. I think it's a stupid take, to be honest with you. I think people are hammering Salah, and I think the criticism, some of it is certainly fair. He got out-coached. Defense didn't play well. But I also think if you bring up that he has a track record of coaching defense at a high level, and if you bring up the fact that hey, the offense had moments where it looked pretty good. They scored 3 touchdowns. Rodgers made some plays. And then you mentioned the fact that the defense playing poor is probably an outlier. I don't think that makes me sound panicked. I think I'm just trying to call it how it is. You know? I mean, I don't really think I'm defending Salah or I'm panicked. One game. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I will say this, though. I'm going to play this again because it was very valuable. So we had Fialco on yesterday for the film review. He pointed this out and showed it. And I came across this video on Twitter last night from Dan Orlovsky over at ESPN. Longtime ESPN analyst now, former NFL quarterback. He went through the film of the Jet defense against the Niners. And hopefully Robert Saleh and company noticed the same thing Dan did, because it is obvious why the Jet defense struggled after you watch this clip. So for those of you who haven't seen it, this was Dan Orlovsky breaking down the Jets.
By no means am I like some kind of defensive lineman, okay? But I do know this, just from an offensive perspective. What pops out for me just from the vantage point of an offensive person is if you're going to align like this consistently and almost help the angles of my blocking displace your defensive line and get to your second level guys, I feel great about it. I mean, this 2nd and 6, I'm going to either run or pass situation. I look at this, like look at the width between that nose and that end. This is almost a 2.5 body gap. And now maybe the Jets are like this because of the cut split of San Francisco, and so often they pin down here. But I do think you're playing into my hand lining up like that. I mean, my center goes basically untouched up to your backer. And because of that stem by your defensive line, my right tackle goes up. Like, I walk to the linebackers there. Same with Kittle. That alignment to me as an offensive person, I'm going, all right, thank you. And I get it. I get that we stress as an offense. I'm going to stress you with your D lineman here or there. But I just look at that and I go, man, they got displaced. They stem that way. Okay? As an offensive person, I'm going, thank you very much. That's easy for me. That's wildly easy when it just comes to alignment, but then also like that movement. Second quarter, 10:52. I'd say something relatively similar. There's that wide alignment again. Look at the space that I have here. Now they don't stem, but I want you to just watch how easy it is to get to that second level. I mean, that's my goal when I'm running the football, is get up to that second level. See how wide that is? And it's stand up. Easy for my center to get up. Easy for my right tackle to get up. Just because of the width. One was second down. One was first down. And I know that's kind of who the Jets are with their DNA and the width of that. Now, maybe they have to change against a team like San Francisco. Maybe that's going to have to be an adjustment. But like, there's no restriction. I feel I've always heard defensive guys say, man, we got to find ways to get people off of our backers at the second level. And that just wasn't there. I mean, get up into. I got guys getting up to the second level as an offensive person by the time the backs got the ball. So I think that more than Rodgers, blah, 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 this and that, like from my vantage point as an offensive-minded person, that's something the Jets really would have to look at.
Like, I don't know. If Orlovsky could see that, I'd imagine the Jets, who have a great defensive coaching staff, will see that too and make the necessary adjustment. I mean, That's how I look at it. More of your calls right now. We say hello to Keith Best, who's on the line. Hello, Keith. Keith? 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 Hello, Keith.
Come on, man.
Keith? You hear me?
No.
No? Thanks for the time. Hopefully Keith will realize he was on the air and we'll go back to him. Keith, you let us know when you're ready. Derek checks in with a super chat. Do you think Salas focusing more on the offense and hands off with the D this summer could be why we saw the worst defensive performance in many games? I don't. I think it was a bad game. They had this against the Cowboys last year. They bounced back immediately. They had this against the Patriots, they had this against the Bengals in Salah's second year. They bounced back. I think they'll be all right. Also, how about the Mets? They're being no hit going into the ninth. They're up 6-1 now. Mets are a playoff team, people. Unreal. More of your calls right now. We say hello to Mr. Weed. Hey, Mr. Weed. There it is. Paul Blart, Mall Cop, a.k.a. Dre Correa Mall Cop. Love it. James says this show is getting nuts. Are you new here, James? James, you might actually be new. You don't have a membership badge. Has no one gifted you a membership? Thanks for the time, Dre and Mr. Weed. If you're tuning in live right now, open phone lines if you want in. 0 wait time. We make it that easy. And reminder, I just got another email from Hugo House. They're about to sell out of the special Aaron Rodgers Year 20 hats they released today. So if you want one, go quick. Promo code Asman at HugoHouse.com. They get the hat that Rodgers wore opening night to the game. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Dylan says, when will we meet Lane's girlfriend? I don't know if Lane has a girlfriend. Tom wrote first day. Yeah, you new around here, James? Come on. More of your calls right now. Big Green is on the line. Hey, Big Green.
How's it going, Jake?
Big Green.
I'm upset about that.
What are you upset about? You cut off.
I said, how upset are you over the Jets' porous defense?
I mean, I'm disappointed. At this point, I'm ready to kind of move forward, move on.
Right. Yeah, I think it was just jitters and the rust. Aaron looked pretty good.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Big Green. Aaron did look pretty good. That's why I'm choosing to be more positive than negative. I mean, on this day a year ago, obviously, the Jets season was basically over, even though they won week 1. I also want to say this. Obviously, today's a very tough day in our nation's history, so never forget. All right? Obviously, being where we are in the tri-state, we were affected by this day 23 years ago more than everywhere else. So just want to make sure we note that on a day like today. Ladies and gentlemen, I got some exciting news. Keith Best has awoken, and he's next. Hello, Keith.
Do you hear me now?
We hear you, Keith. What's going on? Do you hear me?
Yeah. There's internet problems down here. There's pouring rain outside from this thing that's going in Brownsville. But and we're not going to see the end of the day on rain till Friday, or 3 or 5 more days. Oh my God! But we need it. I have no voice left from screaming and yelling. I didn't know who to blame for why we faltered, but I look at all these tapes, and I thought Rogers was rusty in the beginning, but then he came on board. He has some great throws. I thought our defense, our D line, was not up to par, which they, watching all the practices and everything, all the practice games, all the 3 weeks, and we go 3-0. So I'm hyped. I'm absolutely hyped. And we lose. But it's okay. You're absolutely right. It's just one game. I had Henry on, a friend of mine, Henry. His mom's going through this stuff, and he saw me this morning, and he says, it's just a game. We'll be fine. And I trust that. I said in the beginning, I said 3 or 4 months to you. Just trust the process. I don't know what the process with Reddick is. I have no idea. I have no clue what's going on that boy's brain. But
I don't think anyone does, Keith. That's part of the problem.
And we're all trying to analyze it. And we're all you beat yourself up trying to figure out a solution for the man. Maybe the solution was that person in outside of Houston that won the Powerball last night for $800 million. Crazy amount of money. By the way, you see my tickets this morning. The thing went through. It cleared and everything. So everybody.
I got it.
Everybody here. And I have a lot of friends on the outside of here that contributed to for my GoFundMe account for helping me pay some of my medical bills. And the transfer hit my bank this morning. So
it's great news, Keith. I'm happy to do it, and it was all the listeners who contributed. So I'm awesome. I'm glad you got the funds, and obviously I know it's going to help. So that's great.
Yeah. So anyway, I really don't got that much more. Did we practice today?
So the Jets today had a walkthrough. They did not have a practice. Now they did put out an injury report, which I got emailed to me by Jets PR about an hour ago when we started. Nothing I think too significant to note on it listed on the injury report, and they had a walkthrough, so it's just an estimation of what it would be if they actually practiced. Kinlaw did not practice for a personal reason. Michael Carter was limited. DJ Reed limited. Clemens a full participant. Ashton Davis a full participant. Mike Williams a full participant. I don't think Carter or Reed are in danger of not necessarily playing on Sunday, but we'll see. Obviously, Carter left the game, and then they said he could have came back if the game was close. But I don't think either one's in danger of not playing, but we'll follow throughout the week. Fly by Night with a super chat. Thank you, Fly by Night. Wanted to call in today since it's my birthday. Fly by Night, happy birthday. But Jake, thanks for being such a voice of reason. A lot of media heads going crazy, but it's only week 1. Just week 1. Yeah, I mean, look. They lose to the Titans. My tone will be a lot different. Then it's an essential must-win against the Pats on Thursday night. That said, I expect the Jets to win on Sunday. They have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. They're facing Will Levis. It's quarterback league. I think the defense plays better for the Jets. I think Brees has a bigger game. I think they're going to be okay. Matthew writes in, Jake, who wins tomorrow? Bills or Finns? I like the Bills, but we'll see. I do like the Bills. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, live from her apartment, is our merch store director. Hello, Carly.
Hello. I love when you say no wait time and then I get stuck on hold for a while.
I mean, Keith woke up from his nap. What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
You're doing a B-man here. You called the show.
Well, I was hoping you would ask me a question or something.
Typically, that's not how this works.
Okay, well, everyone, welcome to the Carly Fleischer Show. Okay. Well, I was gonna tell everybody that you did great at Pilates today.
I don't think the people needed to know this, but thank you.
They wanted to know.
Who? I don't see one person asking.
Oh, people are asking.
Sure.
Anyway, speaking of the merch store, the Bobby Freaky Emoji Man, that was a really good reenactment. Shirts are up in the shop. Sorry, Lowski. But yeah, it was really great seeing everybody on Monday, and I had a good time. I will be back on Sunday, of course. And
Will you stay for the whole game this time or leave in the third quarter like you did on Monday?
We'll see how the game goes.
Well, it got worse after you left, so you might need to stay for the whole thing.
Well, I thought that I was the bad luck charm, so that's why I took one for the team and I left.
I see.
Listen, Weed said Jake doing Pilates will be my next background. I got you, Weed.
The question at hand in regards to what happened earlier on the show involves Charles Gorman. Tom Ace is a confidant of Gorman. He's reporting that for Charles to show up to the watch party on Sunday, he needs 2 lovely ladies around his arm. Can you provide the lovely ladies?
Totally. I mean, I don't know. You could see the RSVPs, but I think my friends are coming. I mean, I know my friends are coming, but I think they RSVP'd.
And they understand what they're getting into with Charles. Charles is a high bar. He only dates 10s. I mean, this is a known thing. I know, really high pressure environment. Like, it's fashion week. Maybe we could find some girls on the street for him. Am I on the T squared? Okay. I invited somebody on the street to T squared on Monday. You did. But they didn't show up. So I did my best. All right. You want to take a guess who's flailing their arms trying to say hello to you? It's Bobby. Who else other than Robert Midnight? Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello to our guy, Bob from Vermont.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Hi, Carly. How you doing?
Good, Bobby. How are you?
I heard that name. You called me Jake. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
What did he say?
Bobby
You
Midnight?
call me, no. The first word.
Bob from Vermont?
No. Go back. Call me Robert. I don't
Bobby
like
B?
No, you call me Robert. I don't
like
it. Yeah, I don't like Robert. Okay.
What's wrong
So
with
how
Robert?
you doing, Carly?
Good. How are you, Bobby?
How is Ace doing?
He's good. He's sleeping over in the city tonight. Jake
Oh,
will
he
sleep
is?
tomorrow.
He's there?
Not right now, but he will be.
I know we could get to see him tomorrow.
Probably not.
Oh, we miss Ace. He's a good
I
dog.
know. I have a busy day.
Okay, that's fine. You're always busy. You're a nice lady, of course.
What is her being? I'm curious about this now, Bob. What does her being nice have anything to do with her busy schedule?
Also,
Well,
he's the only one who thinks I'm nice.
I do. Charles does. She's a creator of your merch store, so don't give her credit on that. She's busy doing
I
your
introduced
work.
her as the director of the merch store.
Well, so she's busy. BUSY, right, Carly? You're
I'd
busy.
argue you're pretty busy too. You're the CEO of Midnight Enterprises, according to your
Yeah,
name
you
tag
probably
there.
put that in there, or Gator did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, I think if Nick Shine's going, is Nick Shine going Sunday?
I don't know. He hasn't told me.
Maybe if he goes, he could pick up Charles. That's a good idea.
He could be a chaperone, perhaps.
Yeah, Ray mentioned him picking him up.
Yeah.
If he drives it to Manhattan, I don't know. Maybe he'll take the train. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe he going. And then I'll go live. And then can you show people? That's a 1:00 game.
You're going live at the same time the Jets are playing?
Yeah, you could come on. And
I will not be coming on in the middle of a Jet game, Bobby. I'm a maniac. I'm insane.
I know. We saw you running around the bar.
Yeah.
That's
How
what
many
Christ.
steps do you got just at the bar? You should on Sunday. You should take note of what you started and what you ended at, because you were just doing laps.
Yeah,
I can't sit still.
Well, we were happy when they first scored their first touchdown of the year. They did not do that a lot last year, so we have to give credit. 19 points they scored, and look what the Giants scored, 6.
It's 5:45.
Oh my God, we know what time it is, Carly's
Well,
computer.
that's a computer.
James says, Robert, go back to sleep.
James, what's your mind your own business? Okay, bye.
Yeah, James.
You're not even a member, so shut up.
That's right.
Well, go back to sleep. You could. Oh,
go fly a kite.
No,
Yeah,
why don't you go play with your trains?
Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna say kiss my fat ass.
Whoa, family show,
family
Bob.
birthday.
Yeah, but I'm not happy with the guy. He doesn't even know me. So
Yeah, but we have order on this show. Come on.
well, they didn't use the F word. It was good.
I see.
So Carly, it was nice talking to you. Thanks, Jake, for letting me talk to Carly.
You
Bob, anything for you?
Hi, Carly. First time I talked to you, you're a very nice lady. Where are you from, New York?
Oh, what a clip. What a clip.
All right. Any Jets takes for us here?
I hope they win on Sunday. I know that's really like a crazy take there, but
you want a Jets flag, by the way?
yeah.
All right. You can have this one. For those who don't know, this USA flag I've had for months was originally Carly, so I'll trade you a flag. There you go.
It sure was.
All right. So you hope the Jets win Sunday.
I do.
What else you got? Anything else?
I don't particularly like the Titans because I know somebody who works for them and he's not my favorite person on earth. So I hope the Jets beat the Titans because I don't like the Titans and I like the Jets. That was a Lane Train take out of me.
Honestly, Lane, to be fair, all right, Lane gave way more in his take than you just did.
Great game. I know Aaron Rodgers did well tonight. Look, it's only one game. Everybody's complaining that the season's over. Week 2, they're playing Tennessee. We're going to win. I guarantee that they're going to win 37-29.
Like, that's a take. What you gave us was,
Yes, I agree. That was a better take than I gave. I surrender. Lane Train wins.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you Sunday.
See you then.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, actually. But yeah, I'll see you all Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Wait,
what?
I said whoever's coming, can't wait to see you guys.
That's right. And if you show up, you can have cookies that have crack in them.
And you could eat a cookie with the Jake Asman Show logo on it.
There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our director of merch store operations.
The yellow line and the goal line. Hand off to Hall. Touchdown Jets. They're going to get a free play. Rodgers is the master at it, and a touchdown by Lazard.
RSVP, if you're coming out, link is in the description for this video. It will be a blast. That I promise. Can't promise you a win, but I can promise you a great time and a great venue. So let's have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show it's been. Thank you to Jeff Parles, who joined us for the first hour of today's show. I want to thank everyone who tuned in live or after the fact. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We will be back tomorrow. We got not one, but 2 excellent shows coming your way. First things first, in his weekly segment tomorrow, for the first time this regular season, will be Jets beat reporter Nick Faria. Nick will be joining us tomorrow at 10 a.m. And we'll be joined by Robbie Sabo, who normally joins us on Tuesdays. He'll join us tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. So Nick and Robbie both joining the show tomorrow. Fireman Ed's confirmed for Friday. He'll be calling us live from the Newark airport before he gets on his flight to Nashville. Ed will be in the house for Jets Titans. We're going to have Boy Green with us Friday afternoon. Obviously, it's been a wild week. Will Pa was on with us earlier. Fialco joined yesterday. Joe B was Monday or Tuesday morning, I should say. That was yesterday. Wow. This whole week has been a blur to me with how late we were up Monday and everything else. But anyway, another day closer to Jets football. I want to thank all of you. Oh, did Connor McGovern signed? Hold on. The Jets sign McGovern? We're staying on a little while longer here. Hold on. Let me get some info here. We got breaking news for real. I don't know why they waited so long to do this. So let's find out if this is true here. Connor McGovern has been signed to the practice squad. Good. Hopefully there's not an injury. I don't think there was because it wasn't on the injury report. You know, obviously Schweitzer's on IR, right? Or did they put him on IR? Hold on. Let me get the latest injury report. Let's figure this out. I don't see it. I wonder if there was a corresponding move we're missing. Let's see. I'm not seeing it. All right, good. I like this. Connor McGovern's been re-signed to the practice squad. I'd imagine he'll be elevated when they think he's in football shape. I mean, this guy started 55 games for this team. I'm not sitting here telling you he's Nick Mangold. He's obviously not. But Connor McGovern is a quality NFL backup center. He's got a great rapport with Rodgers, which that's all you need when Rodgers is going to have the fastest time to release in the NFL like he did in week 1. Pass protection, by the way, was excellent based on all the metrics. They were second in the league behind New Orleans. I like this. I mean, I've been saying this for months that I wanted McGovern back. Schweitzer is on IR. Makes sense. So, I think this is a good move. I mean, we talked about, you know, McGovern a lot. So, I appreciate it. Connor McGovern, he's back. I don't think I need to do a breaking news stream for this, but we did get it in at the end of the show. So, good move. I mean, I'm sure they're paying him the veterans minimum if they signed him to the practice squad. My big thing with McGovern was, is he healthy? Because there had to have been a reason he didn't sign with anyone. But I like it. He could play guard as well. So, if there is an injury to an AVT or to John Simpson, McGovern could, in theory, slot in. You needed more depth in the interior. So I think we're good. So for those of you who wanted the breaking news Connor McGovern show, I just gave it to you because I am not doing another show based on that. Anyway, we're going to end the show for real this time, though. Glad we got that in at the buzzer. I want to thank everyone who tuned in again. All the things you heard me already say. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. I end today's show by presenting to each of you some life lessons from our pal, Scott.
It's time for some life lessons with Scott.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
Bill Parcells had a horse here. Years ago, I was doing pest control. So I'm spraying around this pool, and you can tell it's his house. Of course, my pants fall down. They're clapping and hooting and hollering. I get a call back from the office, and they're, hey, Scott, are you spraying with your pants off? Because people are calling in because your pants are down, looking at your legs and your underwear. I was like, yeah, I'm spraying with my pants down. They wanted me to flex and shit, so I did. Show off my legs. I'm worried about our right guard.
Scott, how do you go back to talking about football?
I just weighed myself at the gym. What we're doing is this. So I got to get my fat ass into shape. I'll have my workouts taped.
What is the goal?
I want to be sat down. An entity comes in. It's Mother Nature. And I'm sitting down in this cave, and there's like the ambiance of all the here we go gator. Fireflies are lighting up like candles. I am who you think I am. I am Mother Nature herself. From the deep sea creatures to my land beasts to all swarms, everything that nourishes and grows, creatures of flight. That's the shit you start with. I'm starting to get my world-class legs back again. My legs are awesome. I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to get into shape. Muscularity, thickness. I've been homeless twice. So what I'm telling you is that when they say you can't do shit, no. Anyone who has ailments and physical disabilities, you're limitless. I hope it helps somebody. If it helps somebody, that's all that matters.
God bless, Scott.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing from you again and following the fitness journey.
Well,
are you with all the ducks right now? There's a lot of quacking going on.
There was 2 ducks fighting. The youngsters are swimming, but yeah, we're out there. So there's our youngsters. Should I ask them if they want to go on YouTube? Excuse me, ladies. NFL Jeff Football Talk on YouTube. It's live. Do you want to go on and just say hello to YouTube?
No, thank you.
Oh.
I thought you were going to ask the ducks if they wanted to come on the show, not the 2 ladies at the park.
You know what? Generation Z and X, it's like, look, guys, and these people looked at me like I'm kind of crazy and shit. I got to get in shape. IV, liquid water. Here.
Oh yeah.
There's a little bit. Whatever. 6-pack of abs. It's not working.
Take it easy there, Scott. Scott.
I know you're going to see them because they're going to look amazing. Like Bobby Midnight set. He's a big ball of crap.
Well, Scott, thanks for calling. I'm glad day one of the workouts went well, and you're still not banned from the park.
Never forget it.
I never will. Thank you. Hello, Scott.
Oh, like I said, pest control when I was spraying his house and my pants fell down. I got to go to the gym.
Scott, thank you for the time. What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is Scott, who's called back in. Hello, Scott. 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 Let me try and wake him up. Hold on. Didn't work. Let's see if he's awoken. Scott, you're up next. Hello, Scott. Hey.
Oh, hey. No, I'm awake. It just with the underwear.
Yes.
Did you like that? That's nothing, dude. I've been kicked out of 2 zoos. In a cage, there was a male tiger and a male lion. The male tiger didn't like me. He tried to pee on me, the male lion. Now, that's a rope about like this thick that shot out about 8 to 10 feet. I got kicked out of that one.
Oh, no. We can't lose Scott mid-second story on why he was banned from a zoo.
And those were just a few life lessons from Scott.
We now go live to our political expert, Vincent.
You're a political clown show. That's what you are. Have you ever seen a Green Party activist knock on your door? I haven't.
Helping us change the world. Thank you, V-Man.